Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to house newly hatched baby leopard geckos. I wasn't expecting these guys to hatch for another 3 or 4 days, so if this seems a bit rushed, that's why, and I apologise in advance for that. When Leos have hatched, I like to put them into a setup that's very simple and easy to look into. So I keep a paper towel substrate in a tub that's roughly 1 foot long by about half a foot wide, like this one here. I put holes along the side for ventilation and a lid that can click onto the sides so they don't escape. When moving hatchlings, I tend to move the entire tray of eggs into the tub so that if one of them goes running, they don't escape out of the box and then I have to chase them around my room. I don't want to risk losing them, they're so small, they're so fragile, so I put them inside the tub so that if they were to run off the egg crate, then it's all good, they're actually just inside their tub and there's no lost lizards in your room. I will be the first to admit I am a complete coward when it comes to animals moving quickly or animals looking like they're going to bite me. So even though I know these little guys cannot harm me, they physically cannot do it, I jump very violently when they scream at me or when they jump for me. So this doubles as an extra precaution in that case, because I would hate for my cowardice to result in a lizard jumping out of the egg tray and escaping down the back of a bed or under a closet or something. Here you can see I'm using the back of my nail to just gently push against his back, trying to encourage him to walk off the edge of the crate, because if I can get him to walk off by himself, then I can just lift the crate into the second setup, get the other one to walk off, and then they're both in their setups without much drama or any fuss. Sometimes the babies willingly walk off and I have a brilliant time and I'm done in about 2 seconds, but times like this, these guys didn't feel all that inclined to move for me. So I basically had to keep at it for about 6 or 7 minutes. I think it took me to get the two of these guys into their tubs. I removed the eggshell here to try and keep her holding onto it so I could move her down. The eggshell was not attached to her. It wasn't her eggshell. She didn't appreciate that in the slightest. And of course, throughout this process, she was 100% convinced that the sibling was the source of all these issues. The key to getting them into their tubs is literally just being patient and taking your time and making sure you don't try grab them, because they're so small and delicate that I'd be terrified of accidentally squishing their ribs or their spine. As previously mentioned, this one sibling had a bit of a hard time of it. For those of you with baby geckos that cooperate, the tub itself doesn't have to be too large, it only has to be large enough to accommodate the first few months of their life. I like to use a kitchen towel as a substrate because you cannot feed a baby gecko until after they have shed, eaten their shed and then passed it. So with the paper towel you're able to really easily see when they have pooped their first poop, and then after that you can feed them. Whereas on other substrates it tends to be kind of difficult to see whether or not they've actually reached that stage yet. Another scream from the sibling and the normal decided, do you know what, not worth it, I'm going off the tray. So it worked out perfectly for me in the end, and I was able to just move this tray into the next tub so the patternless could have the new tub. In hatchling tubs, there's the substrate of kitchen towel, like I mentioned, but then there has to be a moist hide, a hot hide, ideally a cold hide, and then some clutter to clutter it up so they feel secure. So in my hatchling tubs, I use a deli cup with a hole in the side and some tissue paper as a moist hide. I use these little terracotta plant pot holders to catch the water. I cut a hole in the side of it and I use them as hot hides. And then I use toilet roll tubes as clutter for them to hide in. I only had a hot hide on hand for the normals, so I put that in and I said I'd deal with the patternless and then properly give them the houses they need. This next part is just me trying to get her into the tub, so I've sped it up a bit so it doesn't take so long. When I see poop in these guys' enclosures, I'll know that means they've eaten their first shed, their digestive system is up and going and working properly, and they're ready for their first meal. I offer all my babies some very small dubia roaches that are dusted in calcium powder and D3. From the ages of 0 to 9 months, geckos should be offered food every day, and they should be given as much as they're willing to eat in 15 minutes. Mine mainly eat dubia roaches, however they are offered mealworms and morioworms just to mix things up and add a varied diet. Remember to gut load the insects that you're using as feeders, and if you're not sure how to do that, check out my video. I'll link it in the description below. I started pushing her off the side here and I thought I had it going great, but she had different plans. As soon as she's in, I can return the eggs into their incubation tub, and I can put the lid back on, put them back into the incubator as soon as I can, and I can give her her moist hide, her hot hide, and then her clutter. When babies are taking food, I'll also add in a cap full of calcium, D3 and multivitamins that they'll lick up themselves to supplement whatever they need. Now she's finally in her tub, I can get a good look at her without stressing her. I can make sure she's got all her toes and she looks perfectly healthy, so I can leave her be. I went back to the normal, and before putting him into the rack I gave him a moist hide and I gave him a toilet roll tube as well, just for clutter. And again, during this I can just give him a quick check over, like I couldn't see him in the egg tray very well, and make sure he looks healthy and happy and there's no deformities or anything along those lines, and then he's good to go into the rack and continue his life being a gecko. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like or subscribe, and if you have any questions, comment below and I will do my absolute best to help you. Thank you for watching.